In this video, we will be learning about a material request and material issuance voucher that's of your Intra transfer.
In ERP, intra-transfer refers to the movement of materials within the same location, place or branch, which being, for example, between your department, storage areas or work centers inside a single site. And it helps to manage your internal stock movements without changing the overall stock quantity of your location.
What is material request? So it's basically a formal document raised to request the materials required for your various operations such as production, maintenance, internal consumptions, etc. within an organization, and it ensures the availability and control of stock before issuing or purchasing, and it ensures the traceability of your internal consumption, and it reduces unauthorized material use as well. So when it's of your material issuance voucher, it is a system generated or manually created document that records the issuance of materials from store or warehouse to a department like your production and maintenance, and it serves as a proof that material were withdrawn from inventory for authorized use, ensures a traceability and accountability for material usage, and it of course updates your inventory balance. So this is said to be as your material request as well as a material issuance voucher. So this slide consists of your material request details. So this is a corresponding detail which you are going to enter it on our material request screen, which consists of your rim, that's the item, and so the request quantity of 1 and unit of measurements which are of numbers. And this slide consists of your workflow approval. So here it consists of two processes. One is of reviewing, another is of approving the document. When it's of reviewing, Kaushik, who will be acting as a supervisor, will be reviewing the document and forward the document to our warehouse manager, who is Vimal here. And this slide consists of your workflow approval, and it holds two processes. One is of reviewing the document, another is of approving the document. Here our reviewer will be Kaushik, who will be working as our supervisor, and after his review he will be forwarding the corresponding document to our approver, that's Vimal, who will be acting as our manager. After his approval, a material request will be created. So this is how the workflow would be. Now in order to create a material request, let's move on to our login page. And so this is a login page, and here I'm entering as our user. Click on inventory. At transaction, navigate to your material request. So this is a page where you'll be creating a material request, and here you can be filtering the document by header wise or through line wise by giving a search. Now in order to create, click on this add icon. So here we have a location ID. When you give your location ID, a unit will be getting fetched off from your masters. Then you have your MR date, it's material request date. Then your MR type, which are of different types. When it's of customer, it's been raised when materials are required to fulfill your customer order. When it's of your department, it's been created by internal department to get material from the stores. Then comes your intra transfer. It's for stock transfer within the same plant or warehouse, moving the items from one storage location or bin to another within the same plant or warehouse. When it's of your inter transfer, it's for stock transfer between different plants or locations. Then comes your supplier internal. It's for materials sent to or received from your supplier for internal activities. Then comes your subcontractor. It's been raised to issue raw materials or components to a subcontractor for your job work. Then comes WIP, that's work in progress. It's for issuing materials to production or shop floor for manufacturing activities. Then comes your project. It's raised for project-based work where materials are issued against a specific project code or task. Then comes employee. It's created when employees require materials for official or personal use. So now, as we discussed earlier, we will be clicking on this intra transfer. Then comes your requester. As a person, department or entity who initiates or raises the material request. So here I have given a requester as consumables since it's of intra transfer, and so I've selected a employee. Then comes our shift. that's of general. And now click on this tick icon in order to create it. So in addition, we have our MR number, which will get generated automatically. And so the reference, which is of editable. Then comes the issuance code, which will be setting up at your setup inventory. Then comes your mission, where it refers to equipment, tool or production unit for which the requested material has been required. So it can be given when it's needed of. Then comes your source, that's of manual. And so the status, which is of draft now. So still the document is on process, it's of draft. When it's been forwarded, status will be changed to entry completed, and when being approved by the approver, will be transformed to your approved status. So when you give on this fetch material, it means retrieving or pulling in list of required items or materials automatically based on predefined logical. When it's of your fetch pull stock, the material type is of two, one's of push and pull. When it's of push, system will raise the material request automatically with production order request, and so it will get generated. When it's of pull, a manual material request will be raising off, and so user will only do a manual entry without your production order. So no need of your order reference. So now let's click on this add icon, and so I've kept the type is of standard, another type is of SFG, and so I'm given the item that's of RIM. So where it holds your warehouse names. And so then comes your production order number, source operation number. So where the production order number is a unique number assigned to a production order in ERP system, and it identifies and tracks the manufacturing of a specific quantity of FG from raw material according to your BOM and routing. When it's of your source operation number, it refers to the production routing from which a component or activity is required or consumed. Then comes your request quantity, that's of 1. Now click on save, so that rest of the icons will get enabled up. This icon consists of viewing the details. In order to view it, you can click on this view icon. And if you do not want this line to get proceeded further, you can just click on this bin icon so that the line will get deleted off. And if you do not want this document, you can just click on this cancel so that this document will get cancelled. So now let's click on post. Now the document will get forwarded for a supervisor in order to review it. So now click on OK. The document has been forwarded now. Now let's log in as our supervisor. And now click on login. And so this is the login page of our supervisor. Go to bell icon, click on approvals. And so the document has been folded up here. In order to view it, click on this detail icon. The document will get viewed up like this. So here you will be having a review of it. Now the status has become entry completed from draft. So after having a review, click on this approve icon. Now in order to approve the document, let's forward the document to our manager. For that, click on OK. Now let's log in as our manager. Now click on login. And so this is a login page of our manager. Now move on to your bell icon. Go to approvals. In order to approve, click on this detail icon. After having a review of the document, click on approve. And so the action to be taken here is by clicking OK, the document will get approved of. So the document has been approved. Let's go and watch the status at our material request. Let's give our MR number and click on search. When you click on your MR number, the document will get viewed up. And so now you can check the status that's of approved, which have been transformed from your draft and entry completed finally to approved. So when you click on this workflow history, it provides a complete audit trail showing who did what, when, and what the decision was taken at each step of the workflow process, where it refers to the record or log of all the actions, approvals, status changes, which has been occurred during the workflow transactions. When you click on the sprint icon, a report gets generated over here. So this is the report of your material request for your intra transfer, where it holds a quantity and so the unit cost, where the unit cost is the cost of a single unit of a product or item often used in inventory valuation and pricing, and so it holds up the following details, that's of your prepared by, checked by, approved by, and so run by, so run on time. So every detail holds up. So this is how you will be generating a report of your material request. So now let's move on to our material issuance. At transaction, go to your material issuance voucher. Click on this pending icon. So here our pending MR lines falls up. So here it consists of your current process quantity. Either we can increase it or by decrease it. Let's keep it as 1 itself. So where it holds your allocated quantity, it ensures the material is kept aside and not used elsewhere until it's been issued off. When it's of your issued quantity of material physically issued from the store to the requester. When it's of returned quantity of issued material returned back to the store. Then comes your closed short quantity. So the balance quantity that's closed without issuing, and so when you click on this detail icon, it consists of your following details. So when you click on the stock, it consists of the stock details of the corresponding item that's of RIM. So here it consists of your material request that's been pending of, and so your material allocations, and so your total request, and so the warehouses that's been from, and so the class, subclass, and so the type, whatever we have given it on, and so the stock that we have, and so on. So followingly, it holds your PR number, production order number, so parent item, parent revised, parent item descriptions. And now let's select your document. So when you click on the stock details over here, it will be showing your stock quantity on hand, that's of 8. So this exception is for throwing your alert off. Now let's click on this create MIV. So after giving your MIV date, click on create MIV. So this is a screen of your MIV. So where it consists of your MIV number, which will get generated automatically, and so the receiver type, that's of your intra transfer, which we discussed up earlier. And so in addition, we will be having our unit cost, and so the cost batch, where the cost batch, that's been a batch number or lot from which a material has been issued carrying its own cost or tracked in MIV. When it's of locator, that's a specific storage location within the warehouse or store. Then comes your sale order and project allocations. So when you click on this view details, the following details will get viewed up. So when you want to delete this line, you can just click on this bin icon. Then comes your lot and serial date. So here we have your sys and ls number, that's your system length serial number, a unique system generated serial number for a roll or coil of material used to track and identify it as an inventory. When it's of your ls, that's unit cost, the cost per unit length, for example per meter or roll for that particular roll or length per serial name, serial number. Then we have our roll details, where the roll details is section contains your detailed information of the rolls being issued, including your serial numbers, lengths, unit cost and batch numbers. And then let's give up post, and so MIV has been posted now. Let's look up the status. For that, give your MIV number. Now click on search, and so now the status has become from draft to posted. When you click on this print icon, a report gets generated where the receiver type is of intra transfer, and so the issuance quantity of 1, where it consists of all such following details. So this is how you will be generating a report for your material issuance voucher. And so this is how you will be creating a material request and your material issuance voucher that's of your intra transfer type. Thank you for watching.